What's up, Rockstars? Today I'm going to be talking about the games that I have been tracking, that I've been wanting, that sadly were announced and will never come. So let's get straight into it. Now, of course, this is my top 10 list, so if you have something that you would like to add, there is a comment field down below. Also, in the description, there's a link, a 10% off into the AM. They are a great shirt company. They are having an 80% sale, up to 80% off. With the 10%, it's up to 90% off. You can get $5 shirts with pretty much free shipping. That's down linked below, of course, as well. Starting out, and this is not like a numbered system. I don't have this in a particular order because at the end of the day, we're not getting this crap anyway. But this is just kind of my top 10 in a bucket, right? So the first one is Ronin Warrior, the Samurai board game. I covered this actually at the beginning of the year, well, like last year in December, talking about the games that were coming out in 2022. And sadly, this has just gone, like, it's gone. Okay, I've been trying to find this, and look, over 1,000 followers for this thing. It looks cool. They got all these renders, which means they paid for the sculpting and all that. It even has like sculpted bases and whatnot, which are like really good these days. So you would think this would be great. It's by Bean Boom LLC. Now I was trying to find this, and I found their website, which is right here. This, however, though, you cannot navigate to it from their main site. I'll show you that in a moment. But this is just something you can find on Google. You can get to here, but otherwise you're not navigating to here naturally. And it even has like a different footer and stuff like that. It says copyright here. So anyway, it has some information though. It has like a how to play in Board Game Geek and Kickstarter campaign. But sadly, this is super old. Everything here is old. And in fact, if you go here, this is their main one. And if you scroll down real quick, you can see this is actually a 2021 copyright. Now, most websites just insert the year even. So this is like some like old school thing where they have to like update it, and they just haven't even updated it since 2021. We are getting close to 2023 now, and so that's almost 2 years old of a copyright on their website. Nothing's happening here. The most they have here is apparently it's like beanboom.com is the future connection where they're using metaverse, sportsverse junk, and they talk about blockchain and content creation and news and media and all this other stuff. It seems like just complete bogus stuff. And again, you can't get to this without like searching for it. It's not even available to get, so you can't navigate to it. It hasn't been updated in forever. They don't really have any presence that I can find, and they're like doing some weird metaverse thing. Certainly not board games. So as far as I'm concerned, dead in the water. We're never going to get this. And this says Ronin Warrior Vengeance. I don't even know what that is, because this says Ronin Warrior, the Samurai board game. So like, which is it? I don't even know. It's even a different like advertising and all that kind of stuff. So very, very odd that they've like changed the name at some point. I don't know which one's which, whatever. The next one is actually Perpetuity or Perpetuity. This one is by like Game Time Now or something like that. I'll show you what it is. They have a weird symbol. So Game Time Again, GTA, not Grand Theft Auto. Very, very different. This one looked kind of cool. Just like the map and kind of how it played and stuff like that seems kind of neat. And they got so far. Like if you come here, you'll see, look, they gave their advertising copy to Tantrum House, so they paid them for that. That's why they're all smiling. They just got paid. You got the Dice Tower playthrough with Tom Vassell even, so it's not even like a Mark Street thing. So this was like a thing that was going to be a thing, and then just nothing. In fact, I checked their Facebook. They hadn't posted in almost a year. I finally found on Twitter, that sounded like, Twitter. June 3rd is the closest I can see of them ever doing anything as a company. So it is just like out there, which is just really unfortunate. Their website, which still lists it, hasn't been updated either. Again, it's an old copyright, and it still says coming Q1 2022 on it. So obviously that never happened. They've just been gone since apparently June, as far as I can tell. And even then, not really actually a thing, it doesn't seem. Yeah, unfortunate. Maybe it's coming, maybe it's not. I will not hold my breath. I would die. Now, here is a game that seems to be truly, truly dead. And this breaks my heart. This was my top pick. I was so excited to see this game. So excited. This looked great. Batman Escape from Arkham Asylum. It says 2023, but it's not coming anymore, guys. It's dead. And I'm going to show you exactly how dead it is. Now, this was kind of interesting. It actually, look, all the images, look, they have them all here. right? I don't know if they have the old one. Yeah, see, look, fall 2021 is what it was going to be at some point, okay? So this is like, this has been a thing for a while, and I've been excited for a while. They were actually going to come out this year, and they had to delay it. They like got right up to it, and then apparently there was an accident, like I think like a not more so, but like so some kind of like hospitalization kind of accident, like a injury with the game designer. They didn't want to launch without the game designer. I don't know what came from that. They haven't mentioned any updates. I actually reached out to them and they never contacted me back, which is fine. But this is, they've never touched it since. It's just been gone, right? I mean, so this is just, again, gone. They have a website here. This is what their website looks like right now. So yeah, their website isn't there. They haven't been updating on Facebook on it at all. They have their other miniature games and they're still doing that with night models, but this night games game is gone. This was going to be so cool. Essentially, you played the bad guys trying to escape from Arkham Asylum while Batman's chasing you, which sounds frightening. It sounds like Nemesis Resident Evil kind of stuff here. Like, can you imagine him just like with this like explosive gel bursting through a wall and chasing you? I want a video game of that, if nothing else. Somebody make me a thing where I'm playing the bad guy running for my life from Batman, who's terrifying. That needs to be a thing. We were going to get it in a board game and it's gone, and I'm very, very sad because the miniatures were going to be so good. It's going to be so good, guys. Oh, breaks my heart. Next up, Flash Gordon the board game. This is by Plastic Meatball, which I guess this is a company. We'll look more into that in just a little bit, but I mean, again, over 1,000 followers. This thing, though, has been sitting here like this for like 2 years now. In fact, it's actually worse than that. So if we go here, here's Dicebreaker. Look at this. Look at when they posted this. December 7th, 2020. Is when this was announced just on Dicebreaker. This has been a thing for like forever. It's not coming out. I checked their website. They still list it. But honestly, because it's an IP game, most IP licenses like don't keep renewing. For anything, for any media even, you have to actually produce it. You have to actually use it or you lose it. It's typically the thing. Unless they're renewing it without making it, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's a real product at all. Nothing has happened for years on this. So as far as I'm concerned, dead in the water, which is unfortunate because Flash Gordon is a very hokey, fun time that you could really get into. I was a big Star Wars fan growing up as a kid. It was based on a lot of Flash Gordon stuff, so I looked into that as a kid and really enjoyed what I saw. I missed out time-wise on it, but yeah, it looks like it would be something really neat, and we're not getting it. Okay, another thing truly, ultimately destroyed, canceled, you'll never see. And this is a big one. This was going to be huge. This was massive. Zombicide Evolution. First of all, did you know there was a Zombicide wiki? I did not know that they had a fandom.com wiki for Zombicide. That's fun. Here is Zombicide Evolution. Obviously, this has not been updated at all because there's no comments, and they posted this and then left it because I don't know who even did. It's a wiki, whatever. But because it's not a thing anymore. I'm not going to go ahead and click on this, but this from Board Game Coffee is probably one of the few ways you could see that. I also have a video where I cover it as well when I covered the Tebaru system, so you can search my videos for that. Just type in Tebaru, it'll come up for you. That being said, you can kind of see it here. I'm not going to bother showing it, but it was all like digital, like your ID card was digital and you could like make noise with a button press and stuff like that. Was going to be super cool. The problem is this is their announcement on Kamon's website. They just removed it. And here is their video where Kamon released the video showing Zombicide Evolution. So yeah, not going to happen. Sorry, no Zombicide for the Tebaru system, which is unfortunate because if a system like that is going to succeed, it needs the support. And it's very unfortunate that they just kind of fell through. Now, they have Sword and Sorcery coming out and a few other things, but you ain't going to get no Zombicide on it, apparently. Which, yeah, kind of a bummer. All right, next up. This was one I wanted so bad. And again, not going to get it. 7th Cross by Level 99 Games. There is a 7th Cross as kind of like an IP, but this was Level 99's game of it. And what they were going to do, I believe it's under Jasco, which we'll get into Jasco in a little bit. But what they're going to do is essentially a Metroidvania. Now, if you search it, you can get it to here, but again, it's like some weird, like fake version of their site is the only way you can get it from there. However, they did have a Tumblr where they used to update this. And by used to, I mean like this one, the last one they posted was December 7th, 2017. Okay, so this was announced. It was super cool. There's actually a lot. You can go on here and read like their past posts, they went in depth on a lot of this. And I've shown this off in my previous videos, and it was going to be super cool. And one of them I even have, and I finally found like a picture of the game board itself. But essentially, it was like a Metroidvania where you had this stand with the cards, and you could like a Castlevania where you could like go from room to room and then up and then down, like literally vertically like that. It was going to be really kind of neat. And yeah, it's not going to happen. You're going to fight monsters and do all this stuff. It's going to be card based. Going to have the anime stuff. It was going to be super cool. Nope, nothing. We're not going to get it. Sad day indeed. All right. You guys knew this was going to be mentioned at some point, I imagine. This was going to be Mythic Games' next big Kickstarter in 2022 after Anastyr. This was going to be their big thing. They were going to do like a small one and then a big one. In other words, they were pumping out stuff, trying to get that income that they desperately needed to keep the Steam ship going. And the problem is they ran out of steam. Anastyr didn't do as well as they wanted to. They've had to cancel everything that they announced pretty much. And by cancel, I mean like postpone and all that kind of stuff. And then like really focus on like getting what they can out with Darkest Dungeon, which they barely got out. Now I have it right here. You guys will have it soon. It's super cool. And I'm really looking forward to that. However, I don't see them going to this anytime soon. If it is, it's going to be different. They're focused on like small retail things. They're trying to just survive right now. And that means they ain't making this game right now, okay? Maybe they'll sell it. I don't know. But if so, it won't be Mythic Games' version of it, right? Somebody else will have to come and, take that or whatever. So whatever it was going to be, however cool it was going to be, Mythic Games, I felt, made some pretty cool games. They messed up on a lot of problems with them. But the games themselves were often something I desired, even if they didn't fulfill me as much as I was hoping that they would once I finally get them. I'll let you know what I think of Darkest Dungeon here very shortly, of course. But yeah, sadly, we're not going to get this. It's not going to be no 2022. It's not going to be no 2023. I will be surprised if we ever see this again. But let's move back on to Come On, right? I love talking about Come On. You guys know that. This is huge. So this was going to be a Come On Dragon Ball Z, the board game, was going to come with unpainted miniatures. So they're going to be gray, so you could paint them, and they're going to have a whole bunch of miniatures in it. It was going to be this, like, I'm assuming a story-based board game, kind of like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the video game, probably, is what I'm kind of assuming, something like that. It was actually partnered with IDW Games because IDW Games had the license with Toei to do this, and IDW Games was going to partner with Come On to come out with a board game version of it. Now, they do a board game, but it's not like this kind of board game with miniatures and stuff like that. So it was going to be big. However, IDW Games faltered and shuttered and is gone, and with that went the license, and with that went Come On's ability to make this. Could they pursue this in the future? Perhaps. Will they? Probably not. I'm assuming this is literally the only image we have of it when they announced it on social media, and it didn't have really a name or a presence of any kind except for that announcement, and then IDW going bye-bye. At least their board game stuff. They do like publishing stuff too, like comic books and stuff like that, but their IDW Games, gone. All right, so with that, keeping up with that, let's do Jasco Games. They were going to do a Mortal Kombat The Miniatures game. Okay, they did the Street Fighters one. I actually really enjoyed it. It's a fun little game. I like the card bluffing system. That's really cool. And a lot of the characters felt like the characters how they should be. I actually quite liked it. And the deal with the miniatures, painted miniatures, big miniatures like that, it was a great deal is what it ended up being, even though the car things had stickers, and that was kind of a bummer. But sadly, not everybody even got their game, and that's still the case even to this day. In fact, people were talking about class action lawsuits, and it was all sorts of stuff. They announced the Mortal Kombat. It was going to be their next one. They had miniatures. They were starting to show off renders. They were doing all this stuff, and dead, nothing again, gone. Now, that is because they were also going to do a Dragon Ball Z, the miniatures game, again with Toei Animation and Funimation. So this wasn't with IDW, supposedly, though my understanding is the IP fell out. So this one was announced and then essentially quickly dropped. It's like, I talked with them a while back. I mean, here you can see like a little sneak peek, right, from Angry Joe's live stream. He had this, right? Or a PAX panel today. There was a screenshot from it. You essentially could like get thrown into the Kami house and Kami house is destroyed. You can see Raditz there and stuff and Krillin. It was going to be super cool. We're never going to see it, sadly. It's just not a thing that's going to happen now. They lost the license. It was some weird thing with that and the IDW team and whatnot. And on top of that, this is JascoGames.com. Now, JascoGames.net still exists, but their .com just resolves to this, which is pretty messy already. Kind of sus, right? Well, if you keep looking, they were actually bought by POW Interactive. I reported on this back earlier. So they're kind of a shell of a company. In fact, the only thing I could find them doing is on Twitter. They're still doing My Hero Academia. They have been doing that for over a year, literally over a year straight. They've been doing nothing but talking about My Hero Academia, the card game that they do for their like universal fighting system. That seems to be selling well. So POW Interactive still has them doing that. But I think at this point, it's a shell of a company, not really doing anything except what POW Interactive can get in their portfolio as, you know, they kind of acquired everything and then dropped pretty much the board games. Again, another IDW thing. Speaking of which, my last one, and this one hurts because, again, of how close it was. Metal Gear Solid, the board game. This was going to be like really big. In fact, it even had an Amazon page. You could pre-order it. You could do all this stuff. As you can see, they had all the art. They had the minis. They had everything you needed. This was a full game done by IDW, which means that the Metal Gear Solid project is not moving forward with IDW. And then shortly after that, IDW Games just said, you know what, never mind about the games. We're just going to focus on comics. So yeah, no Metal Gear Solid, the board game, sadly for us. My understanding is this is going to be shopped around the game system, but it will not have that IP attached to it, which in my opinion hurts it greatly because I wanted to smoke some cigarettes to see some laser beams, if at all possible, and shoot a guy that really likes ravens maybe, or ninjas, or, you know, who knows what, or grafts an arm onto him. You know what? Some crazy stuff could have happened. It would have been super cool, and we're not going to get it. I want a stealth action board game like this, so that would have been so cool. So hopefully we see some form of it, but it is sad not to have that theme. Guys, that is the stuff I've been tracking. Do you have anything that you saw announced that you are interested in, that you'd like me to research, or that you are sadly, you know, like, hey, it's not going to be a thing, but I was super excited about it, you want to tell me about it? Let me know, and I can kind of keep an eye out for something similar, something like that, of course. And as always, have a great rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys again very, very soon. There's another news video coming up. We got to talk about some big things that are happening, and then, of course, a Darkest Dungeon review. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already, or if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. And with that, take care. Bye, guys.